Hi, I'm Dr. Lynn. I'm going to be showing you how to use balls to roll some different spots on your abdomen along your colon. These are some spots that for a lot of people tend to get a little tight and sticky and can decrease the ability of stool to easily flow through the colon. This is also a great thing to do before doing the ILU abdominal massage. I have one ball here that's a little bit squishy. It's a hacky sack. If your belly is really tender, something with a little softer texture would be good to start with. I have another ball that's a little bit like between the firmness of a tennis ball and lacrosse ball. I'm going to be showing you this ball, but if that texture felt too hard for you, you could always start with something softer. So just as a reminder, your colon goes up, across, and down. So it comes up your right side, across, so tucked under your lower rib cage, and then down your left side. However, we want to think of a traffic jam analogy when we're deciding where to start our softening and massage work. So first, you're going to start at the ends of the tube because you'd want to clear up any traffic jams here before you encourage more to come around. And then you would go to number 2, the transverse colon. And then finally, you'd go 3 to the beginning of the system and then work all the way around. Okay, I'm tilted a little bit just for you to be able to see better, but you could just do this laying flat on your back. So you're gonna find a bony bump in the front of your left pelvis. Take your ball, put it on top of that point, and then roll it just inside your pelvis. This is where the descending colon is doing a little turn to go down into the pelvis and become the rectum, okay? So you're gonna roll your ball along that inner rim of your pelvis. Okay, I'm just getting my hand out of the way so you can see the direction of the ball. But to create the right inward pressure, you're gonna take your left palm, push downward and inward with the ball, then maintain that pressure and roll it in a little J hook shape, downwards and inwards on that inner rim of your left pelvis. Okay. You can also use 2 hands if that helps you maintain pressure. I'm putting the most pressure as I'm sweeping downwards because that's the direction of flow we want. And then I'm keeping it in contact with my skin as I reposition it, but I'm not really pressing. So press inward, sweep down and towards midline, release pressure, reposition. Press downward and inwards, roll it towards midline, and reposition. You could do this anywhere between about 5 to 10 times. If it's really tender at first, you could always use less pressure to start and then gradually use more pressure as it becomes more comfortable. The next place that we're gonna roll is in the space between your left lower ribs and the top of the pelvis, okay? So I'm gonna use both hands to press the ball inward, like I'm gently squishing it into my intestines a little bit. And then I'm gonna do small circles. I'm putting the pressure though in the downward phase of my circle. I mean downwards, like down towards my pelvis. So inward pressure towards my intestines, and then keeping the pressure as I sweep downwards, letting off the pressure as I come back up. I'm just gonna do it without my hands there so you can see. So I'm putting inward pressure as I roll downwards towards my pelvis, and then letting off the pressure as I come back up. Downward pressure, sweeping down, less pressure, come up. Okay, and again, you can roll about 5 to 10 times. Next, we're gonna work along the ribs. Sort of like a triangle in here where your ribs come up and meet your sternum, okay? And the transverse colon is really tucked under that area. So you wanna try as much as possible to almost scoop under the ribs, okay? So in this case, I'm gonna do more of a traveling movement. I'm tracing the bottom of my right rib, coming up between the 2 halves of the rib cage, and then I'm gonna trace my left lower ribs. Okay. just going to show you again with my hand a little less in the way. So with inward pressure, I'm tracing the left side of the rib cage. And then, with inward pressure, I'm tracing the right side of the rib cage and then the left side of the rib cage. And then I'd reposition. Trace the right side of the rib cage and then the left side of the rib cage. Okay? So now I'm going to show you with inward pressure. I think it's easier to have the right hand as the bottom hand because that one's going to help push across. And then I'm just using my other hand to help maintain that inward pressure. Again, just tracing the base of the ribs. And over time, you may find that you're comfortable using a little bit more pressure as things soften up. Okay. Now we have the ascending colon right here. Okay, I'm going to put the ball between my right lower rib cage and right top of the pelvis and do some little scooping motions upwards. Okay. The pressure part of the stroke is inward and upward now because we're encouraging the correct direction of flow. Okay. And last, right between your belly button and the top of the right side of your pelvis is your ileocecal valve, where your small intestine goes into your large intestine. So I'm going to put inward pressure, and I'm just generally rolling the ball here. I'm not worrying too much about the details, just want to generally soften up the area. Flow-wise though, if you wanted to really be detailed, we would want to encourage movement from the small intestine into the base of the large intestine. So I could put a little bit more pressure as the ball rolls outwards on my body. Okay. And then in a different video, I show the ILU abdominal massage using hands, but in brief, you'd start with the I, that's the ends of your colon. You'd make an L coming across and down. And then the U would be capturing the ascending colon, the transverse colon, and the descending colon. But doing the ball rolling first can just help loosen everything up and prep everything. For some of my patients, they do everything with the ball because their wrists and hands bother them if they try to use their hands for the massage. Give it a try and let your therapist know if you have any questions.